What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including a massive Twitter hack, the world champion Jim Ross asked Vince McMahon to fire in person, Nixed plans for Roman Reigns, Tegan Nox comes out as gay, Charlotte Flair's discomfort in NXT, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into the first story. Now our first story looks at wrestling Twitter accounts getting hacked. A number of WWE and AEW stars are just some of the many verified Twitter users who found themselves unable to tweet on 15th July after hackers broke into account as part of a scam to take people's money with a too good to be true Bitcoin bonanza. Wired magazine reports that the accounts for major Bitcoin sites were hacked, followed by a hack of celebrities and politicians including Kanye West, Joe Biden, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and others. These digital break-ins were designed to relieve people of their money by posting a tempting offer to double one's money. Wired reports, the language has remained fairly consistent across the hacked accounts. I'm giving back to the community. A typical victim's tweet reads, all Bitcoin sent to the address below will be sent back doubled. If you send $1,000, I will send back $2,000. Only doing this for 30 minutes. Numerous non-verified accounts also sent out similar messages, but it's unclear whether those accounts were also compromised or if some of them were bots. The hackers are believed to have netted over $100,000 in just a few hours, and the hacks led to Twitter freezing verified accounts, which meant that both WWE, AEW, and its wrestlers were unable to tweet. The WWE and AEW scrambled to maintain a Twitter presence, with Ringside News reporting, WWE set up a temp WWE NXT account so they can retweet those tweets from their main verified accounts. The verified accounts are still allowed to retweet. The official AEW wrestling account is retweeting tweets from the AEW account. Now the problem has been fixed, but what a screw up from Twitter. Next up, Jim Ross wanted Vince McMahon to fire a world champion to his face.
Screw you! You're fired!
It's a phrase WWE fans have heard Mr. McMahon say on television, but recently the WWE Universe learned there was a wrestler Jim Ross wanted McMahon to fire to his face. Once upon a time, Jim Ross was more than a WWE announcer. He was also in charge of talent relations, which meant he hired a number of superstars, also suggesting a few firings. Speaking on the Broken Skull sessions, Mark Henry revealed that Jim Ross wanted Vince McMahon to fire the world's strongest man. According to Henry, he was in the office with JR and Vince when Ross told McMahon to cut his losses and fire Henry. That didn't happen, but it was a reflection of how poorly Ross felt Henry was performing, and this motivated Henry to improve his work, which he did, eventually becoming world champion. The WWE eventually turned Henry's rise to the top into an angle where he confronted Ross, reminding him how he doubted him. Next up, AEW firings might be coming. The pandemic has made things tough for a number of individuals and businesses, including wrestling promotions. Unlike the WWE, AEW, as well as other promotions, haven't released or laid off workers, but there will be a time when the promotion will have no choice. Speaking with PW Insider's Mike Johnson, Khan discussed how AEW has kept people on who aren't even able to work right now, but that situation might change. A company that didn't have our resources would have almost certainly laid off a lot of people and let people go, but it wasn't the right thing for us to do at the time. And so far through the last several months, it hasn't been the right thing to do. Like I said, I think there will come a day when I'm going to have to reevaluate the roster because I think at some point there's people who aren't actively participating. I probably need to look at that. But right now, I don't think it's anybody's fault that they haven't been able to be here. Khan explained that AEW has lost considerable money due to its inability to run live events, but he acknowledged many other people are suffering economically. Next up, why Brian Cage signed with AEW and not WWE. A former Impact World Champion Brian Cage's jump to AEW has seen a strong push from his debut at Double or Nothing to his recent acquisition of the FTW Championship. However, what made Cage choose AEW over the WWE? Speaking with TSN.com, Cage revealed he liked AEW's status as the new player on the scene, and another big thing was AEW had the most unique, cooler potential matches, if you will, and all of them would be first time ever matches, whereas everywhere else would have been repeats and not as exciting. And if I were to go to WWE, I wouldn't have as much creative control. That, artistically speaking, was a big reason why. I'm going to a place where I can showcase my abilities and have the most fun, intriguing matches, and I had more personal desire to go to AEW than anywhere else. At age 36, Cage wants to make a name for himself on the national stage, and his two choices are obvious. His choice shouldn't surprise anyone familiar with the uneven experiences many outsiders face when coming to the WWE. Do you think he made the right choice even after his loss last night at Fight for the Fallen? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Nixed plans for Roman Reigns. Now, Roman Reigns is one of the top WWE superstars who is staying at home during this pandemic for the sake of his family's health. Now, there hasn't been any word on when Reigns will come back, but WWE did have plans in place just in case he came back before SummerSlam. However, those plans are now out of the window. But what did WWE have planned for him? Well, according to Steve Kerry at Ringside News, he tweeted, "Roman Reigns won't be back by SummerSlam. We've been told WWE had 2 matches discussed for him. He was either facing Wyatt or Strowman. Nothing was solid, obviously. Now they're facing each other. Funny how things work out sometimes." It's believed that now that those plans can't go ahead, WWE is going ahead with a Wyatt vs Strowman Part 3 at SummerSlam. But when Reigns does eventually return, pretty sure that he'll be in a program with Wyatt. Hopefully we'll see Reigns back in the WWE very soon. Otherwise, let's hope they don't go for Strowman vs Wyatt Part 4 at Survivor Series. Next up, Tegan Nox Comes Out. NXT superstar Tegan Nox recently made a big announcement for her fans recently, letting them know that she is a lesbian. Nox spoke to Newsweek recently and discussed why she did this. "My life has always been a don't ask, don't tell situation, but I felt like it was the right time, especially when you found the right one you're in love with. It was the right time to do that. The reaction has been great. There are a few people who obviously don't agree with that, but 99% of the reactions have been positive. I've got texts coming through from so many colleagues and friends. It was nice. It's great to see that there are so many nice people in the world." Nox also discussed the support she's received from fellow superstar Sonya Deville. "I actually talked to Sonya before I even did this. She was a big help. She gave me a phone number and told me to text her if I needed anything, so we kept in contact quite a lot about it. She's a massive help with the fans because my family knew, but my fans didn't. She helped me bring it out to the public." Nox mentioned Molly Holly as her inspiration growing up and said her dream match would be to wrestle her at Evolution 2 should the WWE decide to run the show. Would you guys like that match? Nox wrestling Molly Holly? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Charlotte Flair's discomfort in NXT. The WWE surprised fans when Charlotte Flair used her Royal Rumble win to take a shot at the NXT Women's Championship, but how did she feel returning to where she began her WWE career? Speaking on the WWE show The Bump, the Queen explained, "I felt like an outsider. It's incredible what they've done, and being a third brand, I couldn't be proud of what they've done with them, and I just wish I had more time to develop stories with all these stars. It was just crazy how full circle our careers are being from a dark match to this match. It was unbelievable, and I can't wait to see her shine as champion." Up until her recent medical hiatus, as we noted in an earlier video, Charlotte Flair has taken time off for fixing her implants. She was a constant presence in the WWE's women's division, holding the NXT Women's Championship and appearing on all 3 brands. Next up, what's going on with WrestleMania 37? Now, it appears there's still some uncertainty about whether WrestleMania 37 will take place. Recent rumors had the WWE moving the show to Tampa due to the Los Angeles mayor stating the city would not allow live events well into 2021. However, WrestleVotes recently tweeted, "WrestleMania 37 Los Angeles update. WWE is still very much planning to run the event as scheduled. However, they don't want this determination looming. Heard internally, WWE would like a decision by mid-December from the state of California on large-scale gatherings. Probably not good." You can be certain that WWE isn't happy about California's indecision, as it won't want to plan a last-minute move to Tampa for the 2021 Showcase of the Immortals, like this year. The WWE prides itself on its logistics in terms of its touring schedule, and a last-minute move could affect the WWE's ability to book a stadium, not to mention travel accommodations for its staff and superstars. And finally, Hurricane Helms doesn't like the Jeff Hardy-Sheamus angle. Last but not least, former WWE superstar Gregory Hurricane Helms has been a friend of Matt and Jeff Hardy for years, and he's not thrilled with the current storyline where Sheamus is mocking Jeff's battles with substance abuse. During an interview with Sportskeeda Unscripted, Helms explained his reasoning. "I'm not a fan of it. I mean, I don't think you can really hurt Jeff at this point. Jeff is kind of untouchable. Jeff is always going to be Jeff Hardy, and I think fans are always going to love him. The storyline doesn't do really a lot for me, though I think it's going to bring in new fans. If you don't know about Jeff and any of the problems Jeff has had in the past, like if you were a new fan and you don't know about it, a storyline like this kind of shines the flashlight on it, and I don't really see the purpose of that. So not crazy about it, but I love Jeff Hardy, so I gotta support him." A number of wrestlers and fans have expressed their disgust at the storyline, but the WWE continues to push it, with rumors flying that Hardy and Sheamus will battle in a bar fight. But there you have it guys, the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter for exclusive content. But as always, I'll see you next time here on YouTube for some more wrestling content.